Dear student, today we are going to discuss one of the important perspective and approach of sociology, and that is Indological and ethnographic approach. This whole discussion is divided into two parts. Part 1 deals with the Indological perspective and part 2 deals with the ethnographic approach or perspective. Today we are going to discuss about only Indological perspective. What Indological perspective is? When we talk about the Indian society, we know that India is a peculiar country. The culture of India is peculiar in the sense that in India we have different traits in culture, that is caste, Varn system, joint family system, our customs, our traditions, our way of life, etc. etc. These needs a separate approach, a separate method to study this whole culture of Indian society. Hence, a new approach developed in sociology, and that approach is known as Indological approach. In simple word, we can say that Indological approach is a approach which studied sociology, particularly in Indian society or in Indian community. In this discussion, we discussed about the views of G.S. Ghurye, because Ghurye is known as the father of the Indian sociology, and he used Indological approach to study the culture of Indian society. Indology, which is specifically concerned with the ancient text and commentaries of India. The various aspects and problem of India cannot be fully understood unless it is supported through evidence from archaeology, sociology, anthropology and ethnography. The facts available in these subjects need to be supported by field work. If we want to study all these aspects of Indian society, we need a separate field work techniques. The technique adopted are not in themselves sufficient to understand the Indian society. Any conclusion regarding ancient India is not complete until it is confirmed on an empirical basis, that is due on the basis of the field work. We collect the information from the society and then we analyze the culture of Indian society. This is inevitable, no alternate is there, hence it is known as inevitable. Sociology is a new science in India. Although sociology has developed as a systematic discipline in Europe in the late 19th century, there was no science in India that studied society in its entirety until the earlier 20th century. Sociology was developing rapidly in Western countries. In such a situation, the attention of Indians also went towards developing sociology as a subject in India. As a result, for the first time in the year 1914, the study program of sociology at the graduate level was started in Mumbai University. It was here that the Department of Sociology was established in 1919 under the chairmanship of British sociologist Patrick Gids, and postgraduate classes in sociology were started in the year 1970 due to the efforts of Brajendranath Sheel. The study of sociology along with economics was started in Calcutta University. Talented scholars like Radha Kamal Mukherjee, Vinay Kumar, Dhirendranath Mazumdar and Nirmal Kumar Bose were students of Sheel, who later contributed a lot to the development of sociology. In 1921, sociology was recognized under the Department of Economics in Lucknow University. Radha Kamal Mukherjee, the prominent scholar there, was appointed the head of the Department of Sociology. In 1924, after Patrick Gids, well-known sociologist G.S. Ghurye, that is Govind Sadasiv Ghurye, was appointed the head of the Department of Sociology in Mumbai University. Radha Kamal Mukherjee and G.S. Ghurye have made important contribution to the development of sociology in India. They are known as the prominent Indian sociologist. Undergraduate classes in 1923 in the University of Mysore, Andhra University in Andhra Pradesh in the same year. The Department of Sociology was started in the University of Pune in 1930 under the supervision of Mrs. Iravati Karve. After independence, sociology as a separate subject was added to the study teaching in almost all the states of university and their universities. This is a new branch of knowledge that is known as sociology, and in India we know that this sociology is known as Indian sociology. There are three major trends in the development of sociology in India. The first trend is influenced by the Western sociological traditions. Scholars who believe in this school of thought say that sociology can be developed in India only by adopting Western sociological principles and methods of study. We adopted all the theories and systems developed in Western countries to start a new discipline, that is sociology. The second trend is influenced by traditional Indian thought. According to the supporters of this trend of development of sociology in India, Indian sociological thought should not be based on Western sociological theory, but on Indian traditional theory. We want to develop a new approach and new subject known as Indian sociology. Hence, a new trend is necessary to study the Indian sociology. There are certain features in Indian society and culture which cannot properly understood by blindly following Western sociological theory, because the culture of India is somehow different with the rest of the world. Hence, we need a separate approach, we need a separate perspective to study the Indian society. In such a situation, development of sociology in India should be done only on the basis of traditional Indian sociological principles. Only by doing this, we will be able to understand the Indian society in the right perspective. If we want to really understand Indian society, then it is necessary to know about the Indological approach or a perspective through which we can study the Indian society. And the third trend is influenced by the coordinated thinking of Western and Indian sociological tradition, that is a mixture of two, Western and Indian tradition. Radha Kamal Mukherjee, D.P. Mukherjee, G.S. Gurye and R.N. Saxena are among the supporters of this trend. These scholars have emphasized on the coordination of traditional and modern ideas from the point of view of the development of sociology. These three types of trends develop in sociology. One is purely based on the basis of the Western, second is purely basis on the Indian perspective, and third is the mixture of Western and Indian perspective. The perspective through which we want to study the Indian society and its culture is known as Indological perspective. What Indological perspective is? Meaning and definition. When we talk about the meaning, Indology is known as the science of Indian society. Indological perspective is an approach to study Indian society from an Indian perspective. It is an Indian perspective to understand those concepts, principles and frameworks. It claims that Indian society was unique in structure, function and dynamics, not be equated with European society. India's caste, joint family, kinship, traditions, customs, etc. are so strange that a different approach is needed to understand them. That approach is known as Indological approach. Indology is both an approach to the study of Indian society and an independent discipline as a subject of Indian society. While Indology studies the language, belief, ideas, customs, taboos, codes, institutions, rituals, ceremonies and other related components of culture in Indian society, Indology demands an interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary and cross-disciplinary approach. It does so that the Indian society can be studied all the round. If in real sense we want to study the Indian society, we need this separate type of approach, and that approach is known as Indological approach, through which we study the Indian society. Indology is older than sociology. It is ancient in origin due to its origin in 1784 by Sir William Jones of Calcutta. In 1987, Sir Williams Jones founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal, where he started two departments of Sanskrit and Indology. This is the beginning of Indology in India, which has been followed by many other scholars. The Indology approach is based on the belief that historical Indian society and culture have been unique. The ancient understanding of Indian society from the contextual point of view can be done from the text. Historical and comparative method can be used for the study. That's why history, mythology, religious manuscripts and other texts are used in this type of study. The study of Indian social institutions was also associated with the use of these sources composed by the such scholars. The sources of written material written in this context are ancient texts like Vedas, Purans, Manusmriti, Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. In the analysis of Indology, it emerges from these ancient texts only. Apart from Sanskrit texts, these scholars also used other available sources. Hence, it is also called textual approach and textual perspective. The whole environment is influenced by these ancient texts. We want to analyze all these texts through Indological perspective. The contribution of ancient texts and author is important in the study of Indian society. The diversification of ethno-sociology course material begins in the 1970s. It was different from the British and American traditions of social anthropology. The studies conducted during this period varied in terms of their subject. These studies were based on social structure and their relationship, cultural values, kinship, ideology, cultural transactions, symbolism of the life and the mundane, that is worldly, whole world, life. Several studies have been done based on the text material. Burnett, David, Fruzehi and Oslo, Indian and Nicole, Khare, Murray, Gills, Das and Nandi are examples of this. Most of the studies focus on text such as the Purans, epics, folk traditions and symbolic basis of culture. Most of these studies have been published in Contribution to Indian Sociology, edited by T.N. Madan. If Dumas and Pocock are excluded, most of these studies were done by scholars living abroad. This is a peculiar situation in India. Foreign scholars came India and studied the Indian society. On the basis of these, the Indian sociologists started this type of thinking that we should study the Indian culture in an Indian perspective. And the first name was known as the G.S. Ghurye, that is Govind Sadasiv Ghurye. He is known as the father of the Indian sociology and started Indological perspective. Govind Sadasiv Ghurye, the name of G.S. Ghurye is most prominent among the prominent sociologists of India. He is one of the first line sociologists of India who not only strengthened sociology in India but also prepared many such young generations who later contributed to the development of sociology and sociological research and theories in different parts of India in the field of sociology. Hence, he is known as the father of the Indian sociology. Ghurye was born on 12th December 1893 in the Malwa region of Maharashtra. This is the brief outline of G.S. Gurye. In 1918, he passed the postgraduate examination in Sanskrit and later passed the English postgraduate examination from Elphinstone College, Mumbai, and received gold medal. In 1990, he was appointed as professor of Sanskrit at Mumbai University. From there, he came in contact with Patrick Gids, and with his advice, Gurye went to England for a doctorate in sociology at Cambridge University, took a doctorate degree and became a professor of sociology at Mumbai University. In England, he came in contact with L.T. Hobhouse, a well-known sociologist, from where he went to Cambridge University and meet W.R.H. Rivers, where Gurye wrote many articles. Under the supervision of Rivers, he did his research work on ethnic theory of caste. After obtaining PhD degree, he was again appointed as reader and head of the Department of Sociology, University of Mumbai. In 1924, he was the first sociologist who appointed as the head of the Department of Sociology. In 1934, he was appointed as professor in the same university, and after his retirement from here in 1959, Gurye's academic interest led him to become Professor Emeritus at the University of Mumbai. During his academic career of 36 years, authored more than 30 books, guided about 800 postgraduate students for minor research and 87 students for research work. Following are the important works of Gurye. These are the contributions of Gurye in Indian sociology: Caste and Race in India, Culture and Society, Indian Sadhus, Bharat Natyam and its costumes, Family and kin in Indo-European culture, Cities and Civilization, Gods and Men, Anatomy of Rural Urban Community, Scheduled Tribes, Religious Consciousness, Indian Costumes, Social Tension in India, I and Other Exploration, Indian Acculturation, Vedic India, etc., etc. If we analyze all these in the perspective, that perspective is known as Indological perspective. Contribution of Gurye, when we talk about the contribution of Gurye, Gurye contributed to sociology and especially to Indian sociology. By the way, his tendency was to work in every field of sociology, and he also included all the fields, but some of his major contributions are as follows. Started as a separate discipline in India known as Establishment of Sociology in India. Gurye is known as the father of sociology in India, who founded the Indian Sociological Society known as ISS in Mumbai in 1951 and became the first editor of the journal published from this institution. In 1952, the Sociological Bulletin was published under his supervision, and he continued to be its president till 1966. Along with Radha Kamal Mukherjee, he also did the work of continuously publishing sociology books. So he is considered the original scholar who developed sociology in India. Establishment of sociology is associated with G.S. Gurye. The second is the method of study, that is study method. Gurye has also been a prominent sociologist who has made significant contribution in the field of study method or approach, and that approach is, we know, Indological approach, who directed the study approach to study from historical, Indological, comparative, functional and empirical, etc. However, Gurye has done very little field work. That's why many times he is also called armchair scientist, but he constantly inspired his student in the field of sociology. The third important contribution of Gurye is about the caste. Exploration of caste and tribes. Gurye is the first scholar of India to write a book after studying caste and tribe, whose book Caste and Race in India was published. In it, the origin of caste system, subcaste and kinship groups were clearly explained, and he explained 6 main characteristics of caste. These are discussed by G.S. Ghurye in another book, Caste, Class and Occupation also. The first is segmental division of society. That is, the whole society is divided into different segments on the basis of the caste, that is Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. The second important characteristic of caste is hierarchy. On the basis of the birth, one is termed as higher, another termed as the lower. This is known as the caste hierarchy. Third is restrictions on feeding and intercourse. Certain restrictions are prevailing in caste system, that one caste has restriction to dine with the other caste. This is known as the restriction on feedings and intercourse. Similarly, the fourth characteristic is civil and religious disabilities. Certain ceremonies are restricted by the section of a caste, that is known as Sudras. But Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya are eligible to perform rituals, religious ceremonies, etc. Fifth is restrictions on choosing of free occupations, because caste has their own occupation. For example, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra, they have their own traditional occupations and they have to perform their original and caste based occupation. So, certain restrictions are imposed on the caste, that they are not free to choose any type of occupation in the society. And the last is restrictions on marriage, because caste is an endogamous group. Brahmins marry with Brahmins and Shudras marry with Sudras. This is the peculiar feature of Indian caste system discussed by G.S. Ghurye. Similarly, culture and civilization is the main contribution of G.S. Ghurye. Ghurye wrote a book titled The Social Process in 1938 to explain the social process, in which two major aspects were highlighted. One is the process of culture development and the other is the process of personal assimilation. Under the cultural bond, in which he discussed in detail about the culture. But in his own book Culture and Society in 1947, he also threw light on culture and civilization. In this, he made various aspects of civilization the subject of study, which were discussed in this book. Sociology of religion is another contribution of G.S. Ghurye. Ghurye discussed the sociology of religion for the first time in his book Indian Sadhus, which was published in 1953. In 1961, religion was also explained clearly in the book God and Man, in which he told how important religion is the development of personality, and in this context also talked about the development of various Hindu gods and goddesses. Due to ideal worship being a major part of religion in the society, ideas were presented about various gods and goddesses. The third book related to religion was published in 1965, Religious Consciousness, which was a book based on his field study, in which a comparative analysis of 3 old civilizations of the world, that is Mesopotamia, Egypt and Hindu. Another contribution is known as sociology of conflict. Ghurye elaborated on the tension and conflicts arising in different regions of India on the basis of historical facts and empirical facts. We know this is known as communalism in India, which is in 1969 in the book Social Tension in India, did a sociological study of Hindu and Muslims relations and also explained the relationship between these two at different levels in the Indian subcontinent. Similarly, sociology of art and literature is the important contribution of Ghurye. Ghurye's interest in literature first occurred in 1951 when he was analyzing social change in Maharashtra. In 1965, a book on Shakespeare was published, which is the result of his literary vision. He showed interest not only in literature but also in art. In 1968, in a book named Rajput Architecture, he compiled and analyzed Rajput architecture from 7th to 17th century. Apart from this, in Indian costumes and Bharat Natya and its costume, Indian art was explained from the historical and Indian point of view. This is important contribution regarding the Indian society and its culture. Similarly, sociology of kinship system is important part of Indian society, where one is related with others either through marriage or through the blood relations. The family and the kin were the two topics that got the attention of sociologists. Among these sociologist, Ghurye was such a sociologist who in 1955 clarified the kin system in the book titled Family and Kin in Indo-European Culture. The book is also useful in that Ghurye criticizes the origin and nature of family of Levi, Morgan and Engels. With the inspiration of Ghurye, K.M. Kapadia wrote the book Hindu Kinship under his supervision. Ghurye in his 1971 book Gotra and Charna explained the kinship system among Brahmins and also explained how marriage and religious magic practices develop trust and relationship among Brahmins. Not only this, rural-urban sociology is the important contribution of Ghurye also. Although Ghurye cannot be called rural sociologist, but contributed in this by doing research work on the relationship between rural and urban communities of Gujarat and Maharashtra. After studying the cities of Pune and the towns and villages around it, published Rural Urban Community in 1963, which explains the rural urban continuum, that is interaction between rural and urban is known as rural urban continuum. Along with it also provides a direction to the person working in this field. In 1957, the Mahadev Koli, a caste of Maharashtra, living in Maharashtra, also studied the customs, practices, etc. in the rural area. Ghurye not only studied rural areas but also studied cities, which is no less important. In 1953, he published an article in Urban Sociology in the Sociological Bulletin. In his book titled Cities and Civilization, published in 1962, he compiled and analyzed facts related to cities and their civilization on historical and cultural grounds. Besides this, they studied cities in America, England, Egypt, China and other parts of the world, compared them with Indian cities, especially Mumbai. This is the contribution of rural and urban area of sociology. The whole contribution and the perspective of Ghurye, that is known as Indological perspective or Indological approach, we can say that Indology is a part of Oriental approach to the study of Indian society. It explains the study of Indian society, its culture, languages, literatures, history and politics. The impact of the Indological approach is that it not only embodied the ideas of India by providing a textual vision, but also established it as a scholarly pursuit that influenced later researchers, thinkers and the field of sociology of India. Bernard S. Cohn analyzed the perspective of Orientalist in explaining this textual approach, which presented a picture of Indian society as static, timeless and spaceless. The Indological approach emphasizes the role of traditions and groups rather than individuals as the basis of social relationship, and religion, ethics and philosophy as the basis of social organization. Indology is representative of the behavior of people or guides the behavior of the people in a significant way. In the whole system, we can say that it is a perspective through which we study the Indian society and its culture, and particularly the trait of culture, that is language, literature, caste, kinship, social structure, etc., etc. This approach is important approach to study the Indian sociology in India.